Fucking love this record. Classic, man. I remember telling y'all, right? This is my favorite diss record ever. Ever. Like, I'd rather hear this than Ether and Takeover personally, even though those are, of course, way up there too. I said, the bridge is over, the bridge is over, the bridge is over, hey, hey! It's over, ready, bye bye, the bridge is over. Yo, sounds from the Sensi, down with the sound called BDP. You want to do, then you must see me. Turn the channel out the one Marley. Listen, let's go back. I think KRS One might take this, man, to be honest with you, even though it's a very close battle. I love Kane, I love KRS. They were before my time, but you know what's so interesting, man? See, this is in the good days of hip-hop when shit was pretty good, man. And, you know, the culture wasn't so fucking watered down like it is now. I remember hearing both of these guys back in the late 90s when I was in Saudi Arabia, and I had no idea either of them were that old. And what I mean by that is that, you know, I heard, what was the song that Big Daddy Kane had? Actually, let me go back. I don't think I actually heard Big Daddy Kane until the mid 2000s or early 2000s. It's very possible. But I used to love this song by Mariah Carey called Dream Lover. Anyone remember that song? I remember when that song came out, and I loved that fucking record. Like, it was one of my childhood songs. My mom used to play it all the time, and I really loved the beat, and I just loved the whole song. The whole song is dope. It's a classic. It's only until, like, recently, and by recently I mean obviously the early 2000s, when I heard Big Daddy Kane, you know, have Steppin, and I think that was the first time I heard, like, Big Daddy Kane, I want to say. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this dude used the same beat. Then it turns out that actually he was the first one to use that beat, and he made a hip-hop classic out of that shit. And so that's why I was like, yo, I gotta listen to more of this BDK dude. Because otherwise, I don't think I had even heard of him, to be honest with you. KRS, I had heard. Step Into a World, I think I'd heard in like 99 or something like that. It was just one of those like sort of MP3 or not even MP3, real media files. Remember real media? That was like floating around or whatever, and I listened to it and I just thought it was dope. Like, it didn't even occur to me that this is a guy, he made that song like, you know, 5 years before I'd even heard it or whatever. Or that he wasn't even so much relevant, whatever. I just like the sound of it, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, like, this rap shit to me is very about the music. Like, a lot of these guys that I like now, and when I was listening to hip-hop, again, I wasn't really watching it. I was too far. I was in Saudi Arabia. There was no real TV like that. And it's not like we had music TV. Like, we got MTV a little bit later. But the point is that a lot of this stuff was like, you know, it was all music. It was just like, yo, you got a tape? Let me hear that tape. You know what I'm saying? You would hear an artist and you would love it, right? So that's why I'm very critical about what these guys was rapping about and who they are and the music, the beats they pick and shit, because that's really what does it for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not the clothes. I don't give a fuck what you wear. You know what I'm saying? Or who you're dating, and you know what I'm saying? Or what you represent, what hood you claim. Like, all that shit is irrelevant to me. Do I like your songs? Yes or no? Does it give me the same rush like when I used to listen to songs back in the day and I got a rush and I was like, oh, I fucking love this record. So anyway, the point is this, right? KRS, I'm kind of giving, you know, I'm going to give the sort of the nod to, I think that KRS has like a little bit more material in terms, obviously he has more material overall. Like, a lot of it I would argue is not very great. The rhymes are on point and pretty decent, but the beats are not on point like that. But, I mean, KRS has obviously recorded more material, I think, than Big Daddy Kane, right? And to a certain degree, I think that's an advantage. Because KRS does have a lot to pick from and a lot to pick, you know, to choose from. So, KRS and BD Kane, what would I say that KRS has to play? Obviously, he has to play Bridge is Over. He has to play South Bronx. He has to play My Philosophy. These are all great songs. Love's Gonna Get You is cool. I like that song. It's pretty dope. Outta Here. DP, Boogie Down was performing and it ain't no joke. Outta Here, I love it. Outta Here, that's like one of my favorite KRS songs, KRS One songs, period. Black Cop is crazy. That's another one of my favorites. I remember one time I was in the whip I was like hitching a ride basically from Montreal to Toronto, and you know we were blasting that shit. So that's a great song. What else by KRS One? Rappers are in danger. MCs act like they don't know. Hip Hop Lives, which I played earlier, which is actually one of KRS's more recent bangers. I remember when that came out and it just felt like, oh my god, hip hop's back. You know, fresh, you know, breath of fresh air. And then of course it just became shittier, but it is what it is. So, you know, KRS One has some joints, man. He has a friend. A friend is not really my thing. I never was big on that song, to be honest with you. Help me out here. You guys can, you know, name some stuff in the comments that I might be forgetting. But those are kind of like the major KRS One songs that I think that he has to play. Maybe his verse on the anthem. Yeah, so, you know, KRS has some joints. Now, to me, this is where it gets a little bit trickier with Kane. Because Kane has some joints for sure, of course. Ain't No Half Steppin' is a super classic. I fucking love that record. The other record by Kane that I really love on his first CD was On the Bug Tip. I fucking love that joint. You know, BDK has Niggas Never Learn. What else do I like by BDK? That's kind of it though. Like, you know, he obviously had some great features. He was on L's joint, which was really nice. Is it Platinum Plus? Yeah, that was cool. That was dope. But this is the thing, man. Like, BDK to me, he has, you know, he'll play Warm It Up, Kane, and Raw. I was never huge on those songs. I'm gonna be honest with you. They sound a little bit before my time. They're not bad songs. They're dope. I can recognize their dopeness, the skill level, and all that. But they're not songs that I'm less, you know, like I never listen to those songs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna necessarily be excited when he plays that shit. It's not like, for example, Ain't No Half Steppin', which I genuinely love. I fucking love that song. You know what I mean? Like, I remember being in Queens sometime. I was hanging out at a club, and I'm trying to remember the name. But the DJ threw on Ain't No Half Steppin', and I'm there ramming it, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the club, I'm having a good time. And there was an older cat he was slightly older. It was like a Puerto Rican dude who came up to me and was like, yo, like, you know the worst of this shit? Like, he was like, this shit was before your time type of thing. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm a hip hop fan, man. Like, this shit is fucking monumental classic, you know what I mean? Like, of course I know the words to this fucking song. I fucking love this shit. So anyway, you know, I don't think Kane has a lot of songs that are on that level necessarily. And I'll be honest with you, I think he obviously has the skill level. Phenomenal rapper, game-changing rapper. But his catalog, in terms of, I would argue, the joints that really like stick out from me anyways, I'm just saying my personal opinion, I don't think there's a lot of them. You know what I mean? Again, he was before my time. Maybe if I was older and I grew up in that era, like maybe there was, you know, more Kane joints that really rocked. But as a listener now, there's only a few that I like really genuinely love and I want to hear, you know? Show and Prove, of course, is classic. Great song. I'm just trying to think of other BDK songs. So yeah, I think KRS One has the edge slightly. In terms of performance, it's hard to say because if they are performing, I think both of them obviously are charismatic people. They're charismatic performers. These are great artists. These are some of the best guys to ever touch the fucking microphone. So you're not going to get a whack performance from either of them. KRS might take it a little bit because KRS can freestyle. I'm not sure about Kane and his freestyling ability, but KRS One has been known to freestyle on stage and, you know, drop some cool freestyle. So maybe he'll do something like that in the verses where he just rhymes off the top and, you know, murders it. It's possible. So I'm giving the slight edge to KRS One here, slight edge. But again, I love both of them. I'd be excited. I mean, I will check out this battle for sure, because it's just some hip-hop shit, you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing, man, with these guys. These are some, you know, real-ass legends, you know what I mean? And my hat, I always, you know, salute both rappers, and especially, you know, people like the KRS Ones and the, you know, the Kanes and shit like that, because they really, like, without them, in a way, hip-hop would have never gone anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Not that again, they didn't invent hip-hop. They were rapping and, you know, learning their styles based off other people, right, before them. Like anything, right? It's a tradition. But the point is that when you look at that era of the Slick Rick and the Rakim and the KRS and the Big Daddy Kane, like, they really fucking changed the shit. They really, like, came in and just like for the better. And that's again what we ask about the youth. Please make this shit better. Don't make it worse and then say, yo, like, where's my influence? Where's my flowers? It's like, you're whack. You fucked this up. Come in and make this shit better. Like KRS One, Big Daddy Kane, they came in and they fucking made this shit better. They took this rap shit to a whole nother fucking level. Intellectually, you know, beat wise, like just rhyme wise, style wise, like take it to another level, man. Please. That's what you're supposed to do as a new artist. You know what I'm saying? Instead of begging for clout and begging for props like a bitch. I can't stand that shit, man. Anyway, so who do y'all have? Who do you rock with? I'm gonna go with KRS personally, but I love both rappers, and we'll see how it transpires, man. If it is indeed what is gonna happen, because it seems like that's the battle, but who knows, right? Deuces.